If you visit the Google Labs page at labs.google, there's an element here called Portraits. Portraits is a way for you to interact with a specific coach based on their specific methodology. You can create a similar effect using NotebookLM and combining it with a Google Gem. Inside of NotebookLM, you want to add in your specific methodology, however it's going to be suited. You can upload an entire methodology to one notebook, or you can spread different methodologies across multiple notebooks. As long as the sources that you add are going to be your own and that they represent your methodology. You can then come into Google Gemini. And what you will then do is you will open up the expanded menu and you will go to the gem area. You will not be using the super gem in this case. You will skip down to the gem manager and you will create a new gem. You will then write in what you expect the gem to do. Now the description will be visible to the customer, and this is something that you don't necessarily have to get an AI to write, but it should explain to the user exactly what they can expect from the application. What's going to be important at this point is that you determine what kind of experience you want the user to have. And so that's going to really depend on what kind of tool you want them to interact with your app. In most cases, deep research will not be appropriate, nor will creating videos, nor creating images. Although you can create specific kind of applications with all three of those elements being the default tool. Users will be able to get access to the other elements even if you use this as the default tool. If the user is going to be creating with your application, it's appropriate to use the canvas. If they're going to be learning by interaction, by answering questions, you can use guided learning. You want to be specific with the AI about the experience that you're trying to build inside of the gem application. At minimum, we want to make sure that the user of the gem is going to be interacting only from the information from our notebook. You can look to portraits to determine how you want your app to interact. We are asking Gemini to write the instructions for the gem. What we're now going to do is we're going to make sure to turn on the Pro version. We are then going to click Enter, and we're going to get the instructions from Gemini. Gemini is going to give you the instructions. You can then copy the instructions, and you can then head to your gem conversation, which should still be open. We're going to cut and paste our instructions into the gem. Now again, we can choose no default tool, or we can start with guided learning as the default so that Gemini will lead the user step by step. You want to test no default tool and guided learning in this case to determine which one works the way you want it to work. For the sake of this video, we're going to use guided learning as the default tool. Now again, the user can turn off guided learning inside of the gem if that's what they want to do. We're then going to click Save. You'll then want to test the app. And what we'll then do is we'll then write in a statement as if we are the user. We'll also then turn on the Pro version. We are now going to click Enter. And again, right now what we are doing is we're testing the app as if we are the user. And what we're doing is we're using guided learning in this process. So what you'll see is the experience that the user is going to have with guided learning. And as you can see here, it's not going to just give an answer. It's going to ask the user for some information. We can customize this response in our instructions. But if what you want is a guided experience, you want the user to start with guided learning. And so again, we will continue the interaction with the AI at this point. What Gemini is doing is it's using specific parts of the notebook and the content uploaded in order to interact with the user. Functionally, that's what we want to happen in this interaction. The user will need to have some knowledge of Gemini, which you will have to give the user when you share the link with them. Assuming now that you have verified that the app is working the way you want it to work, you will then go to expand the menu. You will then go back to the gems. You will then see your new gem here in this area. It typically takes at least an hour before the entire gem is going to be shareable. In some cases, you can click the share button and the gem will be instantly shareable. However, whenever you're using a NotebookLM notebook, sharing availability is not instantaneous. As you can see here, we have an element that says something went wrong. All the gem becomes shareable. It's important to note right now, you can create your SOP doc using a site like Scribe, which has a free plan. And you can share the link on how to use Gemini. You can click to design step-by-step processes on how your customer should use your app. Another site with a free plan is called Tango.us. And again, you can design click-by-click processes that your customer can follow to use your application. After about 5 minutes and a manual refresh, we can now share the gem. If you're going to share the gem one-to-one on a client basis, you can restrict to that client. If you want to share the link one-to-many, you can click on anyone with the link and they'll have access to your gem. So you can use NotebookLM in order to first upload your proprietary method in its entirety, attaching it to a Gemini gem, getting assistance from Gemini in terms of how the application will behave in the instructions. Finally, deciding on the default interaction with Gemini. And just in case the user does not know how to use Gemini and how to use your app, you'll want to develop a click-by-click visual by using free applications like Tango or Scribe. To improve your application, you'll want to use the Google Labs and add as many elements as you can as gems are improved. Okay, so thanks, and I will see you in another video.